We have heard all about big corporates trying to heavy voters into ticking the box for yes, but what about governments and councils? An Adelaide council, you're going to love this, ratepayers, has allocated tens of thousands of dollars, again, funded by the ratepayers who think it's all about roads and rubbish, towards campaigning for the yes vote ahead of the referendum. The city of Mitcham has allocated $40,000 for this, and joining me now to talk about this is One Nation Leader Pauline Hanson. Pauline, thanks so much for coming on. Tell us, what can the residents of this poor Adelaide council expect to be getting for their money here?
Mitcham City Council putting up $40,000 to convince those people who are still undecided that they should be voting for the Yes campaign. How ridiculous. They should stick with roads and rubbish. No wonder a lot of these councils are actually in so much debt, and not only that, this same council is putting up the rates by 8.9%, and yet they expect their ratepayers to accept them putting $40,000 towards the yes vote campaign. I think this is ridiculous. Councils right across Australia, and especially in New South Wales, in some of those places around Armidale and that, they're going to put up their rates over the next, around about 45 to 50% over the next couple of years. In Sydney, inner Sydney cities, suburb of Sydney, looking at 98% over the next 4 years. So councils are just over the top. Deal with what you're supposed to deal with, rates, roads and rubbish. Get out of this spending ratepayers' monies on things that have nothing to do with you, and that should be up to the federal government. And the federal government has put over $400 million towards this whole campaign.
Well, indeed. And I mean, it's not the fourth R referendums, but, you know, it's not just this council. In Mitcham, we also saw a report out of Victoria that public servants in that state, the only state that looks to be potentially voting yes, could be forced to work to support the yes campaign, even if they have personal opposition to the referendum. Now, I mean, I guess the idea of a Victorian public servant who's voting no is kind of theoretical, but surely, Pauline, this has to offend our freedom of conscience in this country, doesn't it?
Of course it does. And they shouldn't be forced to actually go against their will and to campaign for the yes vote. This is, again, dictated governments, councils, who are actually telling people out there what we're going to do for you. And the same as these sporting groups and organisations, and you've got these big corporations that are throwing money at this against the shareholders' wishes. It's not up to them to be doing this, and you shouldn't be forcing anyone to do anything. Everyone has their individual say at the ballot box on the day of the referendum. That's where you have their say. And I can sick and tired of people being bullied, forced, coerced into doing things against their will. So I'll tell the people out there, and I'll tell every ratepayer, if your council is actually going to be spending money towards this vote, whether it's the yes or the no, I don't care which one, please stand up for your rights. Go to the council meetings, make your concerns known. They have no right to spend your rates on this rubbish. Either way, it is not up to them to do it and have your say.
Pauline Hanson, thank you so much for being the voice of common sense here. I love the idea of a no voting and advocating council out there. If anybody's LGA is advocating for no, please let me know, because I want to interview the mayor. Thank you so much, Pauline Hanson.